leaning out this way or that way.
Now, do you find your center is quieter?
Oh yeah. It's quieter. S units. So it's just absolutely fantastic, and wow. The output, my gosh, yeah. I'm getting 10 over, 15 over, 20 over, all over the place. So it sounds pretty good from the reports I'm getting.
Yeah, Peter, you sound very good. Very, very good. Yeah. I live, like I said, 12 miles north of Boston, so Boston sports teams are my thing. The Celtics won the World Championship last year. I was tickled pink about that. I remember Bill Russell back in the 60s. He won 11 championships out of 13 seasons.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
So what's going on for tonight? You going out for supper?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. The XYL's been working all day, so I'll take her out there and have a good time. Not quite sure yet what, but I've got an idea there. They've got oh my gosh, a restaurant around here that does a prime rib buffet. My God, let me tell you.
Oh, Peter, that sounds phenomenal. I mean, really. A prime rib, what is that? Is it all you can eat?
Oh yeah.
And what do they get you for that?
I think it was $37.
Oh boy, that's the deal.
Yeah, no kidding, and it is absolutely delicious. They've got, they've got turkey and scalloped potatoes. It's like 150 different items there, at least 150 different items there that you can pick and choose from. Everything from salad soup to shrimp to of course the prime rib.
That is absolutely phenomenal. Wow. I'm jealous. I'm going to have a roast beef sub tonight and some Fritos, I think, with my dinner.
I hear you. Yeah, it's one of my favorite places to go, let me tell you. And then again, I shouldn't go too often because, my gosh, is it ever good? I eat too much.
K1 GMM.
Go ahead, there's a breaking station. Go ahead. Sorry to be quick keying on you.
No, that's okay. I was just sitting here chuckling to myself. Fritos. You know what's a great combination? By the way, the call is Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Name is Steve up here in Vermont. And I know there's a station testing the antenna. So I was just thinking, you know what is a great combination? Is nacho cheese Doritos on tuna fish sandwich. Try it. I poo-pooed that. I thought that was a bunch of bull crap, and I'm telling you, man, that is money. Anyways, go ahead, you guys. K1 GMM, Steve, Vermont.
Steve, what town are you in Vermont?
I live in a little town called Mount Tabor. I sit between Manchester and Rutland on the Route 7 corridor, about halfway between Manchester and Rutland there, Roger.
Oh, you must have some tremendous foliage right now.
She's getting there. She's lighting up on the mountain, boy. There is a pocket of trees up there on Baker Peak that is just cracking. So, really, really cool. Yeah. It's coming your way, probably.
Yeah, so Peter, you still out there in Canada?
Yeah, I do. I am, but I got a question for Steve. Steve, what radio and mic are you using? Oh my God, you ever sound good.
Oh, thank you. I am running, you're going to laugh, I'm running a G2, just like Bob that was just in here. I keep missing Bob, dang it. Hopefully, Bob, if you're listening, knock it off, dude. I tried to catch him last night, and he cleared just as I was ready to key up. But it's great to meet you guys. I'm on a G2, same as him. I just picked it up about a week and a half ago, used. And the microphone, believe it or not, I am running a rack, an external rack. Not much in the rack, just a few components. And the microphone, I'm a big fan of head-worn microphones. So this is a Shure Oh my gosh, am I going to have to pick? I'm going to have to go to my QRZ page because I can't remember the model number. It's a 3-pin XLR connection. It's a Shure WH20, I believe. It covers 50 to 15 kilohertz. And I just got it. What was it, Thursday? I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday. And I get stellar reports on this thing. It's a monster. Over.
Oh, let me tell you, does it ever sound good? I mean, it sounds like you got some equalization things happening there. It's nicely balanced. You got the lows. What bandwidth are you pushing there? It must be more than, 2.8?
Oh yeah, I think I'm at 4. But when I drop the key, you can get the other station in there. I'll confirm that. I think I'm at 4 wide. So sounds good at 3 too. So I have things set up so I can pinch it to like 3 kilohertz, 2.8, 2.9, 3 kilohertz. And it's kind of deceiving because you'd think I was running at 4. So kind of fun. Over.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, it sounds like FM radio. Seriously, it sounds that good.
Hello? Boy, this thing, unbelievable.
Kilo Echo Q Echo Alpha Kilo. Over.
Yeah, you guys go ahead. Pick up that station. I don't want to break up the conversation, so get back on track. I don't like hijacking QSO. There was a Kilo Echo 2 in there. You guys pick them up.
Go ahead there, Kilo Echo 2.
Yeah, Kilo Echo 2 Alpha Echo Alpha Kilo. Just testing out the new rig here. Over.
Oh, yeah, well, we hear you. We hear you for sure. What rig is that?
Yeah, ST990. Over.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, FT990, Yaesu, that decent little radio, sounding good. Sounds a little like you're running the stock mic though, right? Got it. Yeah, it's sounding good. I mean, it's pure communications that I can hear coming from your system there.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Not a problem at all. Yeah, well, we're running the ICOM 746 Pro, older radio to say the least, and we've got the ICM, Heil ICM microphone here, desk mic. We're only 2.8 wide, if I'm not mistaken, so yeah, it's pretty limited in that, and there's no ESSB capabilities in this radio, so I'm stuck at 2.8.
I got you. Just starting out here with this ham radio stuff. Pretty impressive. You can tell I'm on the stock mic. I don't want to say it sounds muffled. It's a dynamic element, and you can hear that it's a dynamic element. You just hear that it's a stock mic. So don't take it negative that it's muffled. It's not. It just sounds like a stock mic sound. Okay, appreciate the input. I was just at a Hamfest earlier today. I should have picked up a different mic. Figured I'd try this one first.
Like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that microphone. We hear you just fine. It doesn't sound like the fellow I was just talking to, mind you. Then again, neither do I. I can imagine. But yeah, it sounds fine.
Just got home here, so I'll have to let you go. I appreciate it. Kilo Echo 2 Echo Alpha Kilo Alpha.
VA3 is VA3 FXR standing by.
Yeah, you sound good in here in Vermont, and Yeah, just enjoy the radio. It's crystal clear. Sounds absolutely great. So, you can go down that rabbit hole anytime. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. 7-3 to that station there. This is Kilo 1 Golf Mike, Southwest Vermont.
Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Have a good night, my friend. Good to talk to you, and thanks for the report.
Yeah, no problem. Good to hear you too, K1GMM.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole, eh? No question about it. The deeper you go, the deeper your pockets need to be.
Oh my gosh, not to mention your hair turns gray and falls out in clumps.
I hear you. My gosh. No, you sound absolutely fantastic. No, seriously, out of all the people that I've heard, you're definitely up there with the top 2% of audio that I've heard on this radio. Sound really, really good. I had to ask.
It doesn't have to be complicated. It's really, I'm running all cheap crap. It's cheap stuff. I'm a tightwad, dude.
I hear you, but man, oh man, seriously, I don't know. I don't have recording functionality on this radio, but if you go onto one of the SDRs that, or log on to, oh my gosh, what is that? There's a net on 255 that they record the net, and you can go onto the YouTube there. There's a fellow in New Jersey, 2NJ something .net, I can't recall, but you can listen to your audio on that, and yeah, take the feather, man. This is awesome.
Holy count. All right, that's enough of that. Knock that off. You know how I do. Oh, let me get your names and get the other station. It doesn't mean I'm going to remember because I don't have a logger open because I can't remember anything from just 60 seconds ago. But yeah, give me your name. I'll remember your name. And the other station in there, if you're still in there, go ahead and hit me with that. So back to you first. Go ahead.
Yeah, the name is Peter, Papa Echo Tango Echo Romeo, and we are about 2 miles east of the Ogdensburg Bridge, literally on an island in the middle of the St. Lawrence River. I see the bridge from my backyard, so yeah, we're pretty close there.
Okay, Peter, thanks. The other station, you still in there?
Yes, I am. This is Doug, Delta Oscar Uniform Golf, and my call sign is November 1, Whiskey Radio November. The 1WR was my grandfather's call in 1920.
Oh, Doug, you said, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, I lost my... I got to get my notepad. I got a little bit of a cluster going here. Doug and Peter. So let me get this, and I will get you. You guys don't need. Oh, for crying out loud! Cognitive decline, folks. New text document, not folder. What a turd. Okay. So we got Doug, and go ahead and give me your call, and I'll get you in the log. I'll explain why I can't get you in the log right now. Not that it really matters, because you probably don't need Vermont. But Doug, hit me with your call again one more time.
All right, Steve. The call is November 1, Whiskey Radio November. N1WRN.
Geez, that's a familiar sounding call, Doug. I wonder if we've worked before. How about you, Peter?
Victor Alpha 3 Foxtrot X-Ray Romeo.
Got a VA3 FXR. Perfect, Peter. Thank you. Yeah, because this is a new rig, I'm running it standalone. It's one of those Anans that you can run standalone. It's got a display on it, runs a Raspbian operating system. So you don't need to connect it to a computer. So I've got a, let me adjust the gate because it's kind of poppy. so what I've got is it's a standalone operating system, right? And I'm running it standalone. So I'm just feeding the audio in through a sound card into the radio from the rack. And the problem is I don't have a logger installed. It's not connected to the main computer. I can do it that way, but I love running this radio standalone because I don't even have to have the main computer online. I just light it up just like a conventional superhead and go, right? And so I've got, I think it's a CQR log. I want to put that in here. And I've had a little 9-inch TFT display that I plug into an HDMI port on the back. So I'm actually running the main display along with an external little 9-inch TFT, which sits right in front of the keyboard. It's kind of neat, you know? And, but there's no logger yet. so I have to do a backup of the SD card. It runs on a Raspberry Pi 4, the radio does. So I need to do a backup of the image here, and I'm afraid I've heard people say, don't touch it, don't start messing around until you back up that image that's functioning. So I'm waiting for my wife to get home tonight. She can get me put the new cards in my hand, and I'm going to run a couple backups just to be safe. And then I'll try and get the logger in there, and I will solve this issue, dang it. Yeah, put it back to you, Pete. VA3FXR, along with N1WRN, this is K1GMM. Go ahead.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Sounds absolutely awesome. Yeah, well, we definitely went a different direction from that. We picked up a 746 Pro. Reason being is that there was a 2-meter SSB net that was being held in our QTH, or generally our QTH. So we wanted to get onto that. So we sold the Kenwood that we had, and we bought this one. And of course, once we got this one, the 2-meter SSB net folded. So now we have this radio, and I mean, it's a good radio from what I can see. It has its limitations, but overall, I guess it's okay. I mean, it works really well on the receive and the transmit. Now that I got the decent antenna, it seems to be pretty good. So we're happy with it overall.
I was going to ask you about, because I heard you mention that early on. That is the rig with 2 meters in it. That's pretty slick. That's an oldie but goodie. I had a friend in the UK that had a 756 Pro 3. I know I don't think that has 2 meters on it, right? And he said it's going in the casket with him when he goes. He loves that radio so much.
I've heard a lot of people say the same thing about that 756
Andy, what's up, dude?
Pro 3. Definitely. And you're right, it doesn't have 2 meters on it. So that radio is on in my crosshairs crosshairs. So as the next radio that I want to pick up, maybe there's also the 7600 that I'm looking at. So there's a couple out there that how should I say interest me as my next purchase.
Charlie 3 Charlie.
All righty. Ending in 3 Charlie. Was it Kilo Charlie 3 Charlie? I recognize that call too. This is Steve up here in Vermont, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Mike, go ahead and we'll pass it around and drag you in here. Over.
Hey, Kilo 1 Golf Mike, do I have that right?
Roger.
Okay, the name here's Tim, Tango India Mike. Tango India Mike, my call is Kilo Charlie 3 Charlie. Kilo Charlie 3 Charlie, I'm located in Philadelphia. Just put a new rig on the air. This is the Yaesu FTDX10. Still learning my way around it, and thought I'd just hop in and say hello. Not running any substantial power, just 100 watts. I'll give it back to you, and you can pass it around. K1GMM, this is KC3C.
Okay, KC3C. Hey, Tim. I hope you're having a nice weekend, and nice to hear you. And you are 5'9" plus, easily 10-15 over in here into state of Vermont, southwestern Vermont. And Sound and Choice, and congratulations on the 10. Great radio. A lot of friends with those radios, and they love them to death, along with the 710. I actually have a friend, M6ENS, in the UK, who had to sell his, and he's chomping at the bit to get another one. So there you go. Tim, let me put it over to Doug, N1WRN. Doug, are you copying Tim down in Philadelphia? Kilo 1 Golf Mike.
Yeah, Kilo 1 Golf Mike. Tim, good evening. I'm up here in Boston. I got a solid 10 over 9 on you. Good audio. And I just put up a new antenna today myself. So how's it going? How do I sound down there in Philly?
You're peaking around an S7 here, so I don't know, you're 5 and 7, I guess. So forgive me, I'm still working my way around this radio. It took me a half an hour to figure out how to turn on the, or how to toggle between my different filters. I didn't get your name and call sign. Go ahead.
Hey, Jose, just to let you know what I did, you guys?
Uniform Golf.
I don't even care anymore whether I'm getting ADC overloads. If I blow it up, I'm throwing it in the dumpster. I shut off all the warnings.
I'm kind of proud of that.
Screw it. She's still going.
Hey,
hell with it, man.
WRN, KC3C.
Figured you get a kick out of that, Jose.
It sounds great. Great audio. The band seems to be very quiet, or just radio is just quiet. I don't know which. My other radio I thought was pretty noisy in comparison. This thing's amazing. I still can't make header tails out of the scope. I never used one. I kind of got the basic idea, but I don't know, it just doesn't mean a lot to me yet. That's the best way. But everything else is pretty darn amazing.
Boy, band's got some heavy fading to it. Heavy.
This is KC3C.
Yeah, KC3C. Yeah, I got you a solid S9 up here, solid. If you're only running 100 watts, you're doing very well. I'm running about 500 up here. I'm also using the FTDX10. I've got a loop antenna that we just put up today, and I've got the Ameritron AL80A amplifier putting on about 500 watts. So thank you for the report, and you're sounding very well as well. So I'm going to pass it up to Steve in Vermont. And Steve, you can pass it over to Peter in Canada. N1 WRN. Up to you. The call sign is Mike. I didn't quite remember the other one. And Steve, I think you might have heard my call sign on the Green Mountain net. Is that correct?
Oh, probably. Have you been on that net for a long time?
Yes, I have. I went up actually to visit Elaine one time at her house.
Get out of here. That's great, man. Good job. I can't, like I said, I can't remember squat, so... Couple questions. I am streaming this on my K1GMN BoobTube channel, so if you guys want to go in and check it out after the fact, you can do that. Kind of get an overview of the station. So I had a couple questions. If you're interested, if you're not interested, bleh. Most people aren't. Tim. And I have a question for you, Doug, coming your way. Tim, hand it over to Doug, and both of you the same question. So, Tim, what antenna are you using right now? Just curious, because I like this information. And Doug, you said you put up a loop. What type of loop is it? I'm just curious about that. If it's a horizontal, if it's a delta, how it's fed, blah, blah, blah. Go ahead, Tim, KC3, and same to you, Peter, by the way, VA3FXR. You got a great signal, by the way, Peter. You're pounding in here, but I have a good path to your area. So, Tim, Doug, Peter, all same question. Go ahead, Tim, K1GMM.
If I can interject, I got to run. So 73s, everyone, VA3FXR will be clear.
Okay, see you, Peter. Go ahead, Tim.
Roger, thanks. This is Kilowatt Charlie, 3 Charlie. The antenna's a dipole, but I live in a city row home, so it isn't in its standard configuration. The best way I can describe it is the flat top is about 35 feet horizontal, and the rest of the antenna cascades down to the front roof of the row home, the porch roof, a sub-roof at the front of the building at about a 45-degree angle. And at the back of the building, the same thing.
Oh, Jerry, I'm on 7172.
It's tied off at a fence in the backyard.
7172.
At no point is the antenna very close to actual ground. In fact, it ends, the portion where they angle down at the end, that's riding at about 30 feet in the air, I would guess. The whole mess is supported by 3 5-foot tripods, each with a 14-foot fiberglass mast, each with a pulley and lanyard, and it holds the antenna up. And it does okay. I guess it's an upside-down inverted U with angled ends. I don't know if that's going to be in the ARRL antenna book, but it seems to work pretty good for me. And, gosh, I'm writing in my log and trying to figure out the radio here. I forget who gets it next, but I guess they'll just have to pick it up and know who they are. This is KC3C in South Philly.
Go ahead, Doug.
N1WRN. And Steve, the answer to your question is it's got a certainly horizontal sort of loop. I got one corner way up high, and it's gradually tapering down at an angle, so I think it's doing pretty well. I got the feed point on the fence, so it's doing good with the ladder line, so hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, boy, we got some heavy fading going on. What type of loop did you say it was?
It's a full wave loop.
Okay, and it was in the horizontal plane, yes?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned it's kind of a sloper then, right?
Yeah, it's a tilted loop.
Yep. I ran, gosh, dude, this was 2016. I ran a sloping delta. It was a 40-meter delta that was a sloper. Then I went to, what did I go to? I went to a 2-element. So basically, I hung it up higher and went to 2 elements on 40, reversible, using open stubs and a double pole, double throw relay to provide the appropriate loading to get it to go one of 2 directions. And boy, I'll tell you what, that sucker, yeah. That took the amplifier completely out of the equation. What I used to have to do with, 500, 600, 700 watts, I could do on about 50 to 70 into Europe with that thing. That thing was a freaking weapon there, over.
Yeah, my antenna, sorry, it's a corner fed pennant, that's all.
Yeah, here's kind of something interesting. Have you ever tried it horizontal? Did you say you just put it up? Like horizontal, like flat. Just curious.
No.
Yeah, let me. Were you the one that said you? Well, no, Tim. You're kind of in an urban area. I think you just told me, right? Doug, are you in? Do you have the capacity to pull up like an 80-meter loop? And I'll tell you where I'm going with this. A horizontal loop. It's not that big, but you do need a little bit of space to pull it up. And mine wasn't even square, but I'll tell you where I'm going.
They're not telling them.
No room here for that. I'm in South Philadelphia in a row home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I kind of missed the one antenna I had the most fun with of all the antennas I've thrown together, all the abominations I've had. I actually got the idea out of a CBIC article, and it was an 80-meter horizontal loop, 42 feet off the ground. It wasn't even square. I just tried to match the geometry optically with the reflector on the ground. So I placed a reflector right on the ground at ground level. And according to CBIC, that thing generates like over 7 dB of gain at 87 degree elevation angle. It's like freaking part the Red Sea, baby. I had more fun on that antenna on 75, 80 meters. Good Lord. I'd consistently get like 30 over reports, just exciter only, which I've never gotten. I do once in a while. I got a 20 over report on about 7 watts the other day. That was pretty funny. I forgot to bring the amp out of standby, but that was a fun antenna to play with. 300 miles. Like 100 to, I did work Florida on it, but that was a little bit of a stretch on that antenna. But yeah, throwing all that gain straight up, it was an awesome antenna inside of like 500 miles. It's pretty cool. K1 GMM, whoever wants it.
Put them all at sleep.
If you have any, do you have anything reasonable to contribute?
I got a ham radio joke.
Let's hear it.
Did you hear about the guy that wanted to build a quad for 40 meters?
No.
He had to give up and threw him for a loop.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, gosh. Yeah, so why don't you guys go ahead and take it. I'm done kind of rambling. I'm babbling. So go ahead and pick it up. I'll kind of bag some sand here for a little bit. And, you want to bring me in, have at it. There's a couple of clerical things I want to kind of poke around with. So, nice to hear you guys. And Tim, enjoy your station and have a lot of fun. KC3C, nice to hear you. I know we've probably worked before. I don't know if you work the Pennsylvania QSO party. One of my favorite events, so we may have run into each other there, and Doug will catch up with you. Go ahead and listen for a little bit. Put it back to Tim, KC3C, K1GMM, Southwest Vermont.
Hey, I just want to be sure I have your call. It's Kilowatt 1 Golf Mike.
Yes.
Okay, I thought I heard you say GMN. Pennsylvania QSO party, yes, absolutely. That's really the main operating event of the year for me.
Too short, Jerry, right now.
I usually win Philadelphia County for that in the mixed mode 100-watt class. Not that that's any phenomenal achievement. There's not really all that much activity in Philadelphia County. Although in recent years it has started to pick up here. We've got a couple guys now that are doing it. For years, the Philadelphia County was almost rare.
I gotta get this plumbed into the
QSO party.
This is just the raw front end of the radio with a noise reduction.
Thanks a lot for letting me come in here today and being so hospitable. I think I'm going to run here and fool around a little bit more with this new radio. It really has me intrigued. Hey, Karen 73 to the group. K1GNM. It's N1WRN. This is Kilowatt Charlie 3 Charlie in South Philly 73.
Yep, 7-3 there, Tim. Nice to hear you. K1GMM.
I forgot to ask, though, are you planning to do the PhD yourself?
I would like to. When is it? I can never remember.
October 12th and 13th this year. It's always the second full weekend in October.
Oh, Well, I have no life, so yeah. I usually try to work it. It's the best event for me. It's a great path. It's a lot of fun. I've run into a lot of people that I've met before, and it's just one of those. I've tried to work a bunch of QSO parties in the past couple of years, and there's just no activity. I mean, what was the last one? Maryland? I don't know. I just tried to work Maryland not too long ago, whenever it was. And on 40 meters, there were like 3 stations out of the entire freaking state that I could hear. And I know, I mean, the band was open. The path was good. And they were plowing in here. And there was nobody working it. So I was like, all right, forget this. You know, I'm not going to sit there for 12 hours and try and work, wait for other stations to come on. So just doesn't seem like a lot of people are doing it over the past year or two. There's not a lot of activity. So Pennsylvania, every time I talk, if I'm on 40 meters and I'm calling CQ, probably 80% of the time somebody comes back from Pennsylvania that I had never worked before, and I swear to God, I've worked every station in Pennsylvania. I think that, right? I mean, if you look at my log from like 8-9 years ago, holy cow. You guys have more ham radio operators in any state in the freaking union, over?
Yeah, it seems that way sometimes. Not so much around here, which seems counterintuitive because we're a big city, but just not a lot of ham activity.
Hey, EA7LCY, what's going on, Cap?
Although I manage somehow.
Ira.
My 40-meter antenna has loading coils on it for
7172.
Gets me on 80 CW.
Ira, 7.172.
Anyway, the PA QSO party is really a great. It's a great time. It's they call it the friendly QSO party. It's competitive but not cutthroat, and a lot of nice guys on it. Lots of participation, especially from the center of the state and some of the more rural areas in the west and the eastern part of the state as well. As far as the other ones are concerned, they vary. The New York QSO party, I had a lot of fun with that last year. California, of course, is a big one, and the Pennsylvania QSO party. They tend to run from being like top-tier events to being almost non-existent, I guess.
Where are my cameras changing? The heck?
State, I suppose, and guys just get on for it, But the PA QSO party is a lot of fun. It's been my favorite operating event for years. And that'll be my final. This is KC3C.
Okay. I'll minimize this here. Yes, and I agree with you, Tim. It's a great event. Even if you're not into events, it's a lot of fun to work. It's just laid back. And how I do it, I mean, I just, do what most people do. I just start at the bottom of the band or the top, and I just go one station at a time. And I remember, I got diarrhea in the mouth, and everybody knows that. And, I'd run into somebody I know, and they're like, oh, yeah, how's it going, blah, blah, blah. And we'd sit there and we'd yap for a couple minutes. Meanwhile, there's like 500 people waiting to get that station. I've been in a situation where I just try like heck to get out of there, and they just want to sit and yap. But that's a testament to the operating style of the event. Like you said, it's no pressure. It's not like balls to the wall. I know there's some that are trying to win, some awards, but that's the type of arena you're playing in when you work that QSO party. It's really neat. Anyways, we'll let you go, Tim. Nice to hear you, KC3C. And Doug, if you want to grab it, pick it up. If not, I'll just sit here. Catch you later. Have a great rest of your weekend, Tim. Look for you again. K1GMM.
Roger. Just a final. The PA QSO party is whatever you want to make it. There are some guys that compete very hard, and very skilled operators, WN phone, and they put a lot of effort into it and rack up big scores. When I go out, I'm trying to win my town, at least. I really don't have the hardware to outright win a category statewide. The best I've done from my row home here was just wire antennas as fourth.
My camera looks like it keeps locking up on.
But in the 100-watt class mixed mode, and I was proud of that.
Sorry about banging the microphone. I got to remember I have a head-worn mic on.
To find the multipliers far out in the West Coast. I found some, but it helps to have a big signal on.
What's going on here?
20 meters particularly, and I really don't. Take care in 7-3. This is KC3C. Have a good night.
Bye-bye now, 7-3.
VE3DIG.
Good heavens, I'm deaf. Somebody just blew my eardrums out.
Good afternoon, my friend. K1GMM, VE3DIG. Sounding good here, my friend.
Boy, Caesar, good heavens. It's a good thing the volume wasn't up very loud on these cans because they'd be on the floor right now. I would have taken them and thrown them at the wall. What's going on there, dude? I don't know if Doug is still in there. He was in here, N1WRN. So let me chuck it over to Doug quick, and then we'll get things going. Doug, can you got to be able to hear Caesar. N1WRN, go ahead and grab it and pick it up with Caesar. He may have cleared. I don't know. Yeah, I don't hear him. Let me know if he pops in while my yapping flapper is running. Yeah, what's going on? What do you got going this weekend? Over.
Not too bad, Steve. First of all, congrats on the new equipment. I've been following along there, and very nicely done. Very nicely done. You got yourself some nice tools, nice equipment there, and been following along there on the channel there, and some nice information that you're putting out there. After a short run on the new stuff there, but very nicely. You're booming in here also. You're about 5 to 10 over, somewhere around there, and sounding good on the I guess on the G2. You're running the G2, I would imagine, or the Sun SDR, one of the two. I know you got both. Excuse me. Everything's well here. I mean, I went over to a Hamfest this morning. I haven't been to a Hamfest in years, and I was hearing some stations talk about it last night, and wasn't too far from me, probably about around an hour west of me, southwest of me. So I figured I'd kill some time. Went for a quick run. I tried to get some guys to come, but everybody was busy this morning on short notice. So anyway, took a quick run there. Nothing interesting. Ran into a couple of guys that I talked to once in a while, so that was good. But other than that, I came home and not doing much at all. Just in the shack here. I was on a little earlier talking to a couple of guys. Yeah, I'm on the Anan. At the moment. The antenna is the 40-meter rotatable dipole. I was switching back and forth. I was just listening for a couple of minutes, and the 80-meter doublet wasn't bringing you in as strong as the dipole, the rotatable dipole. I was just doing a comparison with some other guys, and it was the reverse. The doublet was working better than the rotatable dipole. So I mean, it's one of those things with these antennas. Running the ACOM amplifier, the ACOM 2100, about I don't know, just loafing along, maybe 1200 watts here, and that's it. Not much else going on, Steve. Just hanging out. And weather-wise, it was raining this morning out in Hamilton, where I went to the Hamfest, and it's just cloudy here now. I don't know if we're expecting a little bit of rain, but very good. I'll pass it over to you. So you're about 5'9" plus about 10 dB here on the last transmission. Back to you, K1 GMM VE3 DIG.
Drag my feet for a second in case anybody wanted to jump in. Let's go. Okay, yeah. Boy, sounds good. Boy, you sound good on that thing, dude. It's fun to play with the other stuff, but I mean, come on. Yeah, you're 20. You're 20 over. Solid. 20 plus. So as far as copying you, yeah, that's a non-issue. Copyability's pretty good. Yeah, so I've been trying to figure out, you mentioned Hamfest. Well, question, what'd you see over there? And how much money did you bring? Wink, wink. And I'm thinking about going over to Nearfest. I haven't been over to Nearfest in, since 2016. I don't know. I don't really need anything. You know what I mean? So I'll probably just go over and look around or something, walk around. Wander around for the day. It's actually closer now. They moved it to the west side. I think west of New Hampshire, which is much closer to me. Gosh, that's a walk in the park. I can shoot over there and back with my eyes closed. So that'd be kind of nice, you know. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I know a lot of guys, they stay over, you know, they get rooms and stuff. But, dude, you know what it's like in October, man. I mean, second week of October, the mountains can be snow-capped, and I'm not standing around in, like, freezing rain or something for a freaking day or two, so that ain't going to happen. So I go over for the day, and I play it by ear there. Over.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I guess when October comes along, and, you know, you never know what can happen, especially in your neck of the woods there. But yeah, no, I didn't find anything. I mean, I wasn't really looking for anything. I know I brought some money with me, but I think I spent $20 in total. Bought some raffle tickets, some you know, raffle prize tickets, you know, the admission, whatever. And I really wanted to buy something, just you know, just because I went out there and I couldn't find anything that I really could use. I mean, a lot of stuff that, you know, a lot of garbage, but you know, stuff that's you know, antique stuff that's been around for many years. How many Hamfests it's been, you know, been on tables, but I wasn't really interested. If I saw an antenna, I was looking for like a vertical antenna. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what kind of vertical. I want to put up a vertical before the cold weather hits, and so I was hoping maybe to find something used, you know, a nice used antenna, vertical, some aluminum, something, but nothing. So. Yeah, so I came back empty-handed. No, I didn't win anything. No 50-50, no raffle, nothing. Wasted a little bit of gas, got some fresh air. Sat in traffic a little bit, but it was all good because I haven't been in so long. I mean, probably 10 years or more. I haven't been to a Hamfest, so that was something different. The air, the indoors, the smell of the Hamfest has never changed. It was yeah, not desirable, but just you know, toured around a little bit, got a view of all the different things. I talked to a couple of young hams that are just getting into it that I heard on the air, so it was nice that way, Steve. But yeah, you're sounding good on that G2. I know you're having fun with it. I know your that standalone option is really interesting. Interests you anyway. You like to you know, run it. You can run it with the computer or without. So I mean, that's a nice option of the G2. Yeah, I mean, I got the 7000, the DLE Mark II. I mean, that's not possible, but I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, I've got a few different radios here that I can play with, and it doesn't really, it doesn't interest me too much, that portion of it, but it is nice to have if you have one radio or a couple of radios and you want to use it differently in different applications. I mean, that's a nice option on the Anan. So back to you, K1 GMM VE3DIG.
K1 GMM, yeah. Yeah, well, to be honest with you, Caesar, I bought the rig primarily for, doing AM, stuff like that, and diversity noise canceling. I don't know how often I'm going to use it. I was on the sun last night, and I lit the sun up, and I was like, oh, God. The front end of that thing, dude, is so smooth. It's not brittle sounding. These Anans have like this ring to them. It's hard to describe. I come out of a studio environment and I hear that, and it just, and then I go, because I've been on this for a week and a half. I haven't even lit the sun up. And I lit the sun up last night out of sheer frustration because I've been having ADC overloads, And I said, screw it. Screw it. I don't even care. I've tried everything to get rid of them. They're not all the time, but they're sporadic. So I just shut the warnings off. I go into the software, shut it off. I don't care. If I blow it up, I'll take it and throw it in the dumpster. So seriously, I will. But actually, I'll take it out and shoot the living crap out of it probably. Fill it full of holes. It'll be like a piece of twisted metal Swiss cheese by the time I'm done with it. Yeah, I mean, I really was intrigued, right, with its standalone ability. I was like, there's no way they could really make an Anan standalone. Because I've had an Anan. And I got this thing. I'm on it standalone right now. I had an old 9-inch TFT that runs on 12 volts. I got that hooked up to HDMI too, so I have split screens running on it. So I have the screen on the radio and the little TFT. And it sits right in front of the keyboard, right on the desk in front of me. So I have the radio software running on that, and I'm waiting for the cards to show up from my wife later, and I'm going to be flashing those cards, backing up the operating system, because I'm not going to touch it until I have a couple backups. And I know better than that, dude. So, you don't go in, you don't fart around with that until you back everything up. So, do that. I can get a logger on here. I'll run the SDR software on the main screen on the radio and then run the logger right in front of me. So I'll be good to go. I'm going to try CQR log. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I wanted it. And I'm telling you, the thing actually freaking works, man. It works really well. It's not like Thetis, but it ain't bad. I don't even, to be honest with you, Caesar, I don't even have a desire to run Thetis. The thing sits here. I ran Thetis for 2 days out of 10. So that tells you everything you need to know. Noise reduction on the Pi HP SDR software is actually pretty freaking good. It's really good. So yeah, I mean, they actually pulled it off, dude. It actually works. Over.
Okay, yeah, I just held off a bit there, but I thought I heard somebody tuning up. Very good. Well, I've been following along, as you know. I've been listening to your comments about the Sun SDR, and you're putting something, in my brain there. I know there's one available locally here. But he specifically wants to trade for an FTDX 101D, which I have. But I don't know if I'm ready to part with it. But I'm getting a little frustrated with that rig anyway. I mean, as far as receive, there's no issue on that Yaesu. The receiver is right up there. But the transmit audio is a little bit it's a little bit picky, and you have to really play around with it to get that transmit sounding good and clean. Clean is the is what I'm really after, because they get a little bit dirty, especially with the AMC, which is another topic there with that radio. But anyway, yeah, the Sun SDR. I mean, I've been hearing you talk about it, and I was willing to try one. And I know they're not cheap, but I'll see. I've seen some on the swap shops and stuff, especially on the state side. And they're probably not a big unit even to ship. I mean, it wouldn't be a big issue as far as weight or anything like that. So that's in the back of my mind, maybe playing around with that. I'm looking for something different to play with, Steve.
Caesar, you don't have a Sun SDR?
So, I mean, I really don't want to get rid of any of the radios I got. I like them all. But, I mean, I'll see what happens. The Sun SDR, I mean, I've heard you on it. I know you run it differently there. You got some receive software that you're using, the DAP or some receive DAP, which really I've been watching. And wow, I mean that thing is like full quieting, and just brings out the signal, and no garbage with it. So seems very interesting to me, my friend. Back to you, K1GMM VE3DIG.
Yeah, man. Peanut Gallery's here, so somebody's after you, Caesar. Somebody jumped in there. I'll put it over to you next. You can grab it. Just a quick comment, Caesar. I don't... Having an Anan, right? We all know about... Anybody who's had an Anan knows what the receivers are like. They are like freaking rockets. They are wicked. Tremendous front ends on these radios. However, there's a little bit more to it. This is how I look at it. Not everybody looks at things this way. If I'm sitting here and there's static crashing, I've literally jumped in my chair with the Anan. With the way the front end sounds, when you get a snap, you know what it sounds like. You get that loud snap, that 15-20 over crack from a static crash. It'll literally make the hair stand up on the back of your neck, and sweat will run off the bead of your brow, right? We all know that. We've lived there. We've done it with the Anans. It's just the nature of the front end. The Sun, dude, you can't even freaking hear it. I mean, it's the difference between someone smashing two 2x4s right next to your ear hole together as hard as you can when you're not ready for it, and literally hearing like a tsk, tsk, that's it, instead of this ungodly roaring crack that just tears your balls off. I hate to say it, but when I had the 200, I just shut it off, dude, because I had the Sun. And see, I've been on this for like 10 days. I went back to the Sun last night, and I was like, wow. Same reaction. My jaw hits the floor. Just the type, and I'm talking just the raw front end. Yeah, then you take what I'm running and stick that on there. There's nothing like it, man. Nothing can touch that. I don't care. I haven't seen anybody. I beg people, show me. Show me. Demonstrate it. I will gladly move on to something else. But, I mean, you can find those. I think I've seen them as cheap as like $1,500. That radio's worth $1,500, dude. I'll tell you that right now. If you could find one at like $1,500, that's almost $1,000 less than what they went for new. And it's worth every penny. They're very robust. I know a guy that ran FT8 full tilt boogie on that for the past 3 or 4 years, and never blew the thing up. 100 watts. He had the thing wound right out, and that's full key down. Didn't even have additional cooling fan on it. No enhancements to cooling. The thing's still going to this day, still going strong. So, yeah, funny. There, it's like a very different. It's also very simple, and it's very stable. I have never had one issue in almost 5 years with that radio compared to Thetis and the Anons, and you know what it's like. It's right where you left it. You light it up, hit power, Don, you're off and running over. Another station in there. If you're there, grab it and you can torment Caesar. K1 GMM.
Okay, K1 GMM. I switched radios, so hopefully you're still able to copy here. Let me turn up some power a little bit more. The call's Rick. The name is Rick. The call's VA3WU, and I have 3 Sun SDR2 Pros and then 1 SDR2DX, the 100 watter. I'm on the 20 watt now. I switched from the Flex over to the 20 watt Sun, but I have to agree. And I like the Sun software better than anything else. And the other thing I like about it is no matter what operating system you run, it's the same software. You go from you can run it on a Mac. It looks the same. It reacts the same. The buttons are the same. It's the same software. You run it on Linux and you run it on Windows. It's all the same. It remotes just fine from up north. It doesn't have a built-in server, so you need to have a Raspberry Pi running in the background, but you've already got yours by the sounds of it. So that's it, Caesar. I'm just wondering why you have all these other radios. I guess you're waiting to have the best for the last year. Back over to you, Caesar, the 3WU.
Yeah, good afternoon, Rick. When we're talking Sun SDRs, your name popped up and your call sign popped up in my head every time I talk about Sun SDRs because I know you have a few of them. And, I like to play around and I like to try different radios and good radios. That's what I like. And so far, what I'm hearing is very good things about the Sun SDR. And I think that might be the next radio, especially. Like Steve said, it's you plug it in and you don't have to worry about it, and it just works out of the box. I mean, that's pretty amazing. With Thetis and the Anans and the Hermes lights, it's a totally different ball game. I mean, it's a hit and miss, and then you got a lot of tweaking to do as far as the two systems running together. But I mean, once they're running, I mean, they run smooth. I mean, I've had a lot of hiccups with the Anan, a few years ago when I first got it. And once you get to know how things work with it, it's pretty good. It's pretty simple. I mean, anything could happen, especially with Windows, but it's been running pretty solid also, and just became used to it, I guess, and it's been easier for me to navigate through the menus and everything else. But every time I heard you, Rick, on it, you sound good. The receive, I wouldn't know, just going from what Steve and yourself are saying. But I was waiting for the ICOM, the 7760. I was waiting all summer to for that radio to get unveiled, and wasn't really thrilled about it at the end. Didn't really do things that I really thought it would. I was hoping it would be more of a, I don't mind the detachable, the remote type two-piece, system there with the deck and the head. But you can't really do nothing with it, and if you want to use it. You want to put the main unit underneath and run the little remote head to save space. Yeah, that's great. But if you want to run remote, I mean, you can't really pick up that unit and bring it with you and run remote, which I like to do. You'd have to have it connected to the router and everything else. I mean, it didn't really. The 200 watts is nice, but again, with all the low drive solid state amps now, you don't really need. That feature is not really a big feature anymore, especially with these low drive amplifiers. But anyway, I'll be looking around for one, that's for sure. And Rick, hopefully everything's okay with you. You're sounding good, and hopefully all is well with you, my friend. Back to you, Steve. K1 GMM VE3 DIG in the group.
Boy, I thought I was bad, like a complete neurotic mess over the over the Sun radios. I need your call sign again and your name, because I don't have a logger up. And I do have a notepad, so I'll get you into the notepad, so I don't have to say, hey, you, up in Canada. Actually, both you are in Canada, so it's not Caesar. I know Caesar. The only thing I was going to mention, I'll keep this short, was I'm all about the receive, right? If, anybody can make any radio sound good. I've heard, I remember a few years ago, I heard an old Drake, guy was on a Drake. I swear to God, I thought he was on an Anan. That thing was literally railroad tracks, and it sounded awesome. I still don't believe him to this day. He was on a Drake, and I was like, wow. I absolutely blew me away. So that's a case in point. Knew what he was doing. Really sharp dude, especially with the old boat anchors. And, the receive, all I can tell you, Caesar, is the first time you light it up, you send me an email and tell me your reaction. The only way I can describe it, right? I've done a comparison with the 200D, the Anan, and the Sun. It's on my channel. You can hear everything on the Sun that you can on the Anan. I don't care what anybody says. It's the type of receive that you have with a Sun. The only way I can describe it is, if you remember, if you take the scratchiness out of the old LPs from back in the 60s, 70s, and you take a CD, compact disc player, and you plug it into an old valve head unit that you used to play records on, old Kenwood or something like that. That's what it sounds like. It has this smooth, silky, the only way to describe it, it's a warm and fuzzy feeling. That's it. Right when you hear it, you'd be like, oh, good Lord, listen to that. I've never heard another transceiver sound like that. Definitely not a modern one. And it's just as sensitive. It's a dynamite front end, but you don't have to listen to that real brittle quality. There's nothing brittle about it. Nothing. It fascinates me to no end. Anyways, enough of that crap. Back up to the other station. Give me your name and call so I don't have to say, hey, you, K1GMM.
Okay, Steve, no problem. The name is Rick, and the call is Victor Alpha 3 Whiskey United. And I'm on a compromise antenna up here. I'm on an OCF that's about 15 feet in the air. It's really just a test antenna, and I run FT8 sometimes on this. So this is the Pro. I'm feeding it into an EB500 solid-state amp. And the other station that I was on at first was the Flex 6500, just down and around, and I heard you guys talking. So that's it. Yeah, the Suns are, and they're so small, but by physical size, they're really heavy. My DX has the fan on the top and all that. I'm not sure if yours does too or not, but my Pros don't. So I run a little fan on the top of those. So I'm running about, about 11 watts to get myself about 600 watts out of the 550 watts out of the EB500. So the call here, Steve, is Victor Alpha 3 Whiskey Uniform. That's VA3WU. And back to you, Caesar.
Okay, very good, Rick. So one question for both of you. Which model should I get? So is there a Sun SDR Pro, a Pro 2? I don't know. Is there, maybe you can help me out there. I think there's a 100-watt version, and then there's, QRP versions. I haven't really looked at their website, but which one are we after? The Sun SDR Pro, is that the one? I'll pass it over to you, Rick. I know you have a few different ones. Which one are you suggest, or which one are you running? VA3WU, VE3DIG in the group.
Okay, Caesar. Well, this one here is the Pro. Now, if you were going to buy one, though, and you're used to running all 100-watt radios, I'd get the DX. The DX is more money. They just produced another model of DX. They keep on refining them, like little hardware changes. So the latest DX is the most current you're going to have. The DX also has a slightly better low noise amp on VHF. And now, don't forget, now these are HF6N2. So I have one sun just dedicated on 2 meters. But the DX gives you the full packed 100 watts, where these just give you 20 watts. The Pro, so how they are rated, it's the Sun SDR2 Pro. That's a 20 watt rig and 7 watts on VHF. And then there's the Sun SDR2 DX, which is the 100 watt version, and it has, I think it's still a very low power on VHF, like 7 watts. So that's it. Back to you, Caesar, and you can throw it around.
Okay, very good. So the one I'm after is the Sun SDR DX. DX is the one. Okay. I'll keep an eye out for them. I know, like I said, there was a local station with a brand new one in a box, but I'm not willing to trade for the Yaesu at the moment. I'd rather find one, a little bit used maybe. And like Steve said, there's probably quite a few around or whatever that you can find on the QRZ or QTH swap shop there in the States. And like you said, it's probably not a big issue to ship. I mean, they might be a little heavy, but they're not bulky, so I wouldn't worry. I think the shipping would be no problem. Okay, very good. So let's pass it over to you, Steve. K1 GMM VE3DIG in the group.
Okay, yeah, I dragged my feet. One thing I wanted to mention as well, and Rick, you can probably echo this. Do not buy one of those radios with the expectations that Expert is ever going to do anything significant as far as updating the software. They have no idea what they're doing with that stuff. They don't. They promise they're kind of like Flex. They promise the world, oh yeah, I bought it because of all the expectations. They screwed the software up, dude. V3, I guess, works good. I don't use V3. I use V2. I don't believe V3 even has cat ability in it. Who produces a radio where you can't connect it via cat? I think you have to use a third-party piece of software just to get a logger connected to the damn thing. So I wanted to say that so I don't blow smoke up your butt and give you unrealistic expectations. I'm never changing. I'm going to run it on V2 till the day I die. And you've heard that thing, dude. And I guarantee you that thing sounds every bit as good as any Apache Labs. Period. It's a good radio for its size. How big is that thing, Rick? The 2DX? It's got to be the size of what? 4 packs of cigarettes? I kid you not. It's a tiny little thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if the thing, I bet you the thing weighs 10 pounds or 12 pounds. It is heavy. I don't know how they pack all that stuff in there. It must be. And I looked at that and I thought, there is no way that this thing is that robust. I lifted it. I was like, good Lord. Oh yeah, they're tough radio, dude. Well, they were built for de-expeditions. That's what they were designed for. But boy, they are beautiful sounding on AM and extended sideband. Really, really nice radio. And then you run the crap that I run. I run, just to let you know, Caesar, I run that on all I'll never run a radio without that stuff running. Smokes anything. Even Thetis and the NR2, even the new NR2 can't touch what I run. It's crap. It doesn't have any artifacts. Yes, it does. Listen close. I don't care how you set it up. It's still got artifacts in there. And that's all free. Except for, you don't even have to run the plugin I run. That's $100 for that plugin, but that's an AI plugin, and it's one of the best on the planet. Not bad for $100. It's worth it. I'm sorry, worth every penny. Go ahead, Rick. I just wanted to say that's the reason why people hate them, Caesar. There's a lot of haters, and everybody dumped them because they're not. They screwed the software up and they're not updating them. Well, if you can get past that, it's a phenomenal piece of kit. Go ahead, Rick. VA3WU K1GMM.
What is it with you guys on 40 meters in the group? You don't need to say in the group, just call signs.
Thank you for the advice.
This is VA3WU, and I'll tell you what. I'm running V3, and I was on the test team when they launched it. And you're right, they're slower than the last. And I've had to talk with Roman about it more than once. And because what they've done is they bought this new building to manufacture this stuff in-house again. Because they had everything farmed out to Taiwan. Now they're doing it right in-house. And they built this machine called a pie placer, or a pie pick and placer. So they designed and engineered this pick and placer to propagate their own circuit boards and everything, and they got so far behind in the design of the software. But I'll tell you what, version 3 is my baby, man. I'll tell you what, I love version 3. It's so stable right now, and you don't need any of the comm stuff, generally speaking, with TCI. All my programs, like the Ham Radio Deluxe and all that, work with TCI. You just turn TCI on and direct the port, kind of like Flex's API. And everything runs with it. You know, N1 N1 M&M logger, and, you know, like all that, and including Ham Radio Deluxe. And there is little add-on programs that you can add to do other things. But now it's got voice keying in, CW keying all built in. So the latest iterations of the software really come a long way, Steve, that's for sure. And it's so reliable, and just the radio fires up in a couple seconds, as you well know. And the software is just clean and robust, and it's out of the Anan software like Thetis, my Flex radio software. But now all I have is the Hermes Lite, and I just run the Hermes Lite edition of Thetis. But still, my favorite software by far is the Sun software, version 3. It's great software now. It's come a long way, that's for sure. And they're still doing it, but they're doing it slow. Like I said, they're engineering all these other. First of all, the whole building to manufacture, and then everything else, and they just tore themselves so thin. Everybody thought they dropped off the map, but they're coming back. Anyway, over to you, Caesar, VA3WU.
Hey, really quick, Rick. In the V3, I've been tempted to put it back in, but it destroyed my freaking computer when I went to rip it out to get V2 back in there. And this was a couple years ago. And I swore I'd never touch it again because of that. I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. Hijacked everything. Can you customize the GUI? In other words, can you put in a desktop, like a background image? Because if you can't do a background image, yes, I'm shallow. I love pretty things. If I can't do a background image, I will never touch V3. Go ahead.
You know what? I've never tried that. I don't know if you can, to tell you the truth. I'll look into it, and next time we talk, I'll let you know. And I can get your email address from your QRZ. And I'll let you know. I've never tried. What I do have is the DX cluster running in the background, and it propagates, you know, the waterfall with any
John?
DX spots. I was just on 10 meters with it, and the waterfall was half full. And no, but I'm a version 3 guy through and through. I don't know if I've even tried to launch version 2 in the last year. In the last year, that's when version 3 really tightened up.
Okay, well, that's good knowledge. Maybe I'll have to give it a shot. Try it. Go into your options or wherever it is, because I know V3 is completely different. That's one thing I hate about V3. I'm not. My mind is open, dude, but I have played with V3. It's just, why do you have to hide everything? That was the beautiful thing about the V2 GUI. It's all right there in your face. One click. I don't have to go digging for any crap. And I wasn't impressed with I've read about it. It's not a true AGCT. There's no slope and decay function. It's an RF gain, dude. Caesar, that's another thing about the Sun. If you're thinking it's going to have a AGCT, it does not. It is an RF gain. Don't care what anybody says. AGCT is the most powerful function on an SDR radio. It is it. That's why the Anans are so amazing. Even the V3 does not have a true AGCT, to my knowledge. AGCT is nothing but an RF gain on those radios. That's why I run the additional software. You got to have the slope and decay functions to control the AGCT. Otherwise, it's an RF gain. Said that already. Maybe, Rick, you can clarify that, but I was just on some boards just in the past couple of weeks, and I saw the pissing matches going on, and they don't agree. NASDR got in a pissing match with whoever the goons are over there in Russia. And Rick's like, no, that is not an AGCT. An AGCT is not an RF gain. RF gain is crap compared to an AGCT. So, Caesar, I just wanted to throw that. You have to go in with eyes wide open, realistic expectations. Go ahead, Caesar, K1GM.
Okay, very good, Rick. I think there was another station. I think Angelo was in there, VA3ACO. We'll pass it over you in a sec there, Angelo. Well, okay. I mean, that's a lot of information you guys are both giving me. I'm getting confused, so I'll have to do a little bit of research.
What's up, Sparky?
I understand it's a different receiver. And from the Anan, from the Thetis, like you said, it's more of a more softer, I guess. It's not as harsh as the Thetis. So, it's
Sparky.
something to look at anyway. I mean, if I could find one on a good deal where it's
I gotta
not
get
going
out of here.
to
I
break
gotta
the
get
bank,
upstairs.
then,
My dog's probably tearing the
I'll
house
try it
apart.
out. If I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. I mean, it's very simple. Wouldn't mind giving it a try. And I know you're running the extra stuff there, that other receive software, which probably enhances the performance
Thanks,
on the
Sparky.
receive,
That's
making
really
it even
kind.
better.
I'm not
like
doing
you
any
said,
videos for
with,
you anymore.
The AGC that the Thetis has is different than the Sun SDR. Maybe that's why you're you're adding features to it that way through the plugin. But anyway, I'll take a look at it. I'll do a little bit more research. Never really thought about it too much, but started hearing more and more about it, and especially listening to you there, Steve. And I know you're very happy with it. So that's about it. Let's bring Angelo. I think, Angelo, if you're still in there, come on in. VA3ACO, VE3DIG in the group.
No such thing as a perfect radio, I just wanted to say. Angelo. Angelo.
I guess he got tired of listening.
I love Angelo. What the flippin' heck? Angelo, grab it.
I don't know about Angelo. Maybe he fell asleep. He's on the desk there.
I know he went to the Hamfest today.
Oh, he's playing with a new toy he bought.
I went to the Hamfest too there, Rick.
I didn't. I woke up at 3:30, couldn't get back to sleep, and finished off the wife's laundromat. We just renovated the laundry room and put a new heat pump washer-dryer combo in. And I just finished the floor and got all that settled up. So I did that from 3 till 6:30. Then I thought, I'll go to the Hamfest. And that's by 7 o'clock, I'm fast asleep.
Oh, you didn't miss much.
I was going to go there to shake hands anyway. I'll tell you what, too, Steve, is that it works much better than on the ICOMs or anything like that, the AGC. The only thing you can control with it is attack, decay, and hang time. That's it. It's not, it's better than the ICOM stuff, my 705 and the 7300. It seems so rudimentary now compared to the one on the Sun, and then, of course, the Flex and the Thetis software, but yeah, certainly I really enjoy version 3 though. It's really nice. But I do know what you mean. Like, still, it doesn't support keyboard shortcuts right in the software, like version 2 does. So you have to map things differently and whatnot. But there's little ways around that stuff. But that's one thing they promised to release is keyboard shortcuts along with their version of adaptive pre-distortion.
Good heavens. You don't need pre-distortion on that radio. When I'm on that radio, people can't even tell. Of course, I'm on a valve amp. They can't even tell that I'm on that radio or the Anan. They ask me. They say, "Oh, what are you running the Anan?" I said, "No, I'm on the Sun." Those freaking, you don't need pre-distortion on that radio. Unless you're running 1,500 watts on a solid state amp. Yeah, then maybe. I've got a coupler here for the G2. Didn't make any difference, so I ripped it off. I'm just running on the internal coupler in the radio with the ACOM 2000. So forget it. I don't care. Yeah, those that's the other thing, Cedar. They're really clean. I was going to mention something to you. Flipping heck. You said something there, Rick. You know what I'd love to see them do? I love this on Thetis, and I'm actually setting it up on the Standalone G2. I'm going to be doing that either tonight or tomorrow morning. I have a MIDI controller here, and you mentioned keyboard shortcuts. I would love to see them put MIDI capability into that software. That means you can take a controller, you can basically move everything. Like the Anan, right? The Anan, I don't need anything to run the radio. When I'm on Thetis, I'm setting it up to run Standalone too, because the Pi HP SDR has MIDI capability. Brilliant. See, they're thinking. So I run everything. AGCT on both independent receivers, you name it, Zoom functions. It's got 60 functions on this MIDI controller. I can key it up. I can go into tune mode. I can roll through the modes, roll through the bands, all individual buttons, carry all the bands. RF, AF. I mean, good God, you name it. The whole thing is mapped and programmed. So I do it all with the touch of a finger on my left hand. I don't even have to touch the friggin' mouse if I don't want to. So it's kind of cool. You know, I wish they'd put that on the Sun. That would be crackerjack. I mean, to me, that would be the most valuable addition. Because what it means is I can kick back in the chair like I'm doing right now. I got a head-worn mic on. I can just kick back in the chair and sit here and put my feet up on the desk, and I don't have to be even sitting in front of it. I'll just grab the MIDI controller, throw it in my lap, and away we go. I'm lazy. Anyways, go ahead, Caesar. K1GMM.
Okay, very good there, Steve. I was just playing around actually with the diversity. I'm not sure if the Standalone, I can't remember if it has this diversity feature on the when you do run it on the when you run it with the Pi, Raspberry Pi, the PHSDR there. I'm not sure if it has. Does it have the diversity? Because I'm just playing around with it now. And that also helps. I mean, that's a big. Bringing down the noise floor, it just brought it right down, and I'm using a magnetic loop there on the second receive, and the noise just dropped right down to nothing, and your signal went from a 10 to 15 without it to about a S9, so about 5.9. But no noise, no background noise at all. I mean, that's a beautiful feature. I really enjoy the diversity when things get a little bit harsh. Go ahead.
K2VI.
Hey, K2VI, recognize. Coming your way next, K1GMM. Steve up here in Vermont. It does, Caesar. It does. It actually works. It's built into the Pi HP SDR software. I just lit it up just now when you said that. I thought, I should light that up and check it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It doesn't have a bullseye. It's got 4 sliders. So it's got gain, which is coarse gain, dB, and then it has fine gain, and then it has coarse and fine phase controls. So it's if you kind of extrapolate that into the bullseye where you can go like around it and then in and out, same thing, but as in regard. But it's all sliders. And yes, it does work. I just did it. And I was like, hey, check that out. Pretty freaking cool. Signal noise ratio. Boy, it makes it terrifying, doesn't it? VI, good afternoon. And I guess, Rick, you can pick it up after the VI station, K1GMM.
Okay, K1GMM, and now I'll pass it back to Rick. I didn't get his call. What's the name there, GMM?
Name is Steve. I'm up here, southwestern Vermont.
1, 2, 3.
We were up in Rutland a couple of years ago doing some skiing. A lot of fun up there. That's a beautiful country. And you know something? I was just talking to my cousin who bought some property up there, and she told me that you have no problem, because I was complaining about I can't get a a tower up here without getting an architect. The city wants an architect. They want drawings. They want a stamp. They're making me spend a lot of money for this stuff. She says, "Oh, in Vermont, there's no code. They let you do whatever you want." Is that true?
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, we got a lid on frequency.
Yeah, mentally unstable and off their meds. A lot of people on medication, boy, according to the local pharmacist. They don't have anything intelligent to contribute, so that's what they have to resort to. Anyways, where'd you go skiing? In Killington? Killington, Pico?
Pharmacist, and I'm rich because people like drugs.
What an idiot. This is what we get. I have a new guy over here that just got his ham ticket, and he's got to listen to this jerk off.
Yep, I know, dude.
Unbelievable. What my question was to you, if this guy lets me get through, is that, and I run a kilowatt, I should be able to get through to you. What I'm saying is, in Vermont, do they give you such a hassle about putting up a tower?
It depends where you're at. Where I live, there is no zoning. I can do anything I want. I could put a 3,000-foot tower up if I had a light on the top. I think the FAA would frown on that, but no, they don't care. You get out of city limit. Most city limits, there's some places that you got to be kind of careful. You have to go through what do they call that? The zoning board and stuff like that. But where I live, anything goes, dude.
Man, I'm gonna move to Vermont. I like, I ski up there, and it's a lot of fun. But you were up in Rutland, and then we went up to, I think it was Killington, or somewhere right there, but south of Rutland. But there's trails all over the place. But yeah, okay, I won't hold it, Steve. You're sounding really good. You're sounding like you're running either an Anan or a Flex. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm on a G2 I'm playing with. I've had it for about 10 days there. Over.
The Flex.
No, the Anan. It's a standalone radio. It's got the operating system with a screen on the front, so you can run it standalone, no computer. Over.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of the G2. Sounds fabulous. You're running about 4K, so you're full. You got a lot of rich bass, too.
Yeah, is it too heavy? Because I can roll it out.
Roll it out a touch, but it sounds good either way.
Okay, yeah, I want it copyable. You know what I mean? If the signal's weak. So this zip tie duct tape station, I'm trying to melt the zip ties off right now. All right, give me your call. I know it ends in VI, and what was your name? Over.
Name is Tony, and it's Kilo 2 Victor India down in Virginia Beach. And what kind of signal do you got on me there, Steve?
Your S9 Plus. I just screwed your call up. Your S9 Plus. Hit me again with your call sign and give you an accurate one because you're really strong. Go ahead.
Okay, Steve. You're running about 10 over S9. You got Tony here, and it's Kilo 2 Victor India K2VI.
Got it, Tony. Sorry about that. K2VI. 20 to 25 over into this ZS6 BKW.
VA3 ACO.
Oh, there's Angelo. How you doing, Angelo?
Hello.
Angelo.
Friend Roland, he just bought my amplifier.
I had lunch with him today. He's down in Toronto.
Oh, okay. He went to Toronto. Yeah, but he's up in where? He's in New Brunswick. That's far.
Yeah, but he...
Holy crap, that's way over there.
He came to a Hamfest here.
That ain't near Ontario.
About an hour drive from where I am, right? So we hooked up there,
out.
and then after we went to this place in Swiss Chalet.
My breath is kind of popping the gate.
For lunch.
Popping the gate.
Yeah, him and my buddy Nick, we went, and then he left. He's gone back to a place east of Toronto.
I keep mixing my mice up. I grabbed the wrong mouse.
A little bit more maybe from where he's working, right? So he's here for a few months, I believe, anyways. Yeah, he was telling me. How's everything, Tony?
Everything's good, Angelo. It's good to hear you. Yeah, he's a nice guy. We spoke on the phone. He's a character, that's for sure. But we had some nice conversation, and he says hold the amp for a few weeks until he gets back home, and then he has a sister in Maine, I think. Is it Maine? Yeah. and I'll ship it over to Mace, so you won't have to pay that shipping to go over the border, and then he's going to drive over and pick it up or something like that. But he ain't going to get there for a while, so he wants me to hold on to the QSL.
Oh, yeah, QSL, yes. Yeah, as soon as he's finished working, he's flying home, right? And then he's close. He can drive there. I think 15, 20-minute drive to the border where he is, right? So that part of the province, right? Yeah, he's a long way from here. It's,
wow, look at
it's,
that.
A good
diversity
day
is
and a
sick.
half or more,
It
to
is
drive
sick.
out to over there. You got to go all through Ontario here and Quebec and then into the north,
Wow.
north, south, or east of
Awesome.
end of New Brunswick. He's way up there, by the way. Anyways, good to hear you. You hear me okay there, Tony?
Loud and clear, man. S9. Almost as strong as Steve. Steve is really slamming in here, man. But you're S9, and you're creeping up to about a 5 over S9. Audio's really nice. You got good audio, my friend. Steve, go ahead and pick it up.
Okay, really quick. I'm going to leave you guys with it. I hate to tuck tail and run, but I wanted to be out of here about a half hour ago, but it's been fun. Angelo, nice to hear you. And how much money do you spend today? No, you don't have to answer that, Angelo. And how's your, what was the last thing you had done? Shoulder, right? How you feeling there? Over?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I got my right shoulder done, but it's still ass sore. And of course, driving for a while, I had the wheel on my left shoulder, right? So that one started getting sore by the time I drove down there and the time I drove back. Steve. The other one there I had done almost 2 years ago, but that one's not too bad. This one's taking a bit longer, eh? Like, I'm finished by the therapy and everything else, right? But still, I'm not a young guy anymore, Steve, as you know. So it takes longer for me to heal, over.
Oh, yeah, I get it. I don't know how old you are, and you don't have to tell me. I'm going to be 60 in October. See, my mind is so feeble, Angelo, I can't remember when my birthday is. So, anyways, no, you just don't. I swear to God, once you hit 50, you just don't bounce back. That's the start. Like 50, maybe 50, mid-50s. I know I sold my sport quad about 5 years ago, so I was about 55. And I realized that it hurts more. It hurts more to end up with a 400 or 500 pound machine on top of you with the wheels still spinning, and you're trying not to get crushed by it in the middle of a rocky hill. You know what I mean? It's no fun anymore. When you're young and stupid, who cares, right? So, anyways, I want to stick around for a little while. I'll probably be dead tomorrow. Who knows? Anyways, we'll put it back to you, Angelo. Nice to hear you, man. I'm glad you're doing okay, and sounding choice as always. You sound great. Put it back to you, and then toss her around, and you guys have a great evening, and look for you again. K1GMM.
Okay, Steve. Hey, by the way, I wish I was like you that about the age. I don't remember it, but I remember mine, and I'm way up. Yeah, I'm way up there. Maybe another 16 years on top of that, almost there, over.
Wow, I would never guess that, Angelo.
I just turned 76, and I'm still up there, still jumping around, can't do any climbing for a while yet, but, just turned 76 this past July, over.
Wow, congratulations, 76. Well, you got a long road ahead of you, dude. My mother's 91, and she's still kicking butt, so, she slowed down a little bit, but she still works outside in the garden every day. Can you believe that? 91 years old, so I wish that on you. Not that that's what you want to be doing. But maybe it is. Don't know. Anyways, yeah, we'll catch you later. Sounded great. Jump if you're around in the mornings. We're in there on 3615 early in the mornings, just to let you know. I'm up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So, if you're around, you want to yap. The whole crew is usually rotating in and out of there. Over.
Okay, very good. And of course, we missed one more guy there, and I talked to him on the phone the other morning. We were talking for a while, and he said, "If you hear that Steve guy up there, up north there, you know," he says, "Tell him Vito says hello." Of course, as you know, he's way down in down in Florida now, so I can't just jump in the pickup here and 6-7 hours be down to this place in the Poconos there, right? Now you got to get a flight down there to go. It's too far away there, but anyway. Yeah, we're still in contact, and it's a bummer they won't let him put anything up. Hopefully, they let eventually get something, even a vertical or something. Maybe if it won't, it should work not too bad on this band, maybe, right? So we'll soon see. Anyway, good to hear you, buddy, as always. Hey, always a pleasure, Steve. And if I get up early enough in the mornings here, I'll jump in and say hello. Okay? You take care. Have a good one.
You too. Fun as always. Pleasure. We'll catch you soon. You take care. K1GMM. See you guys.
Yeah, have a good one, Steve. 73, all the best. Good hearing you on. And doing good there with all your equipment. 73.
Thanks, Caesar. 7-3.
I'll talk to you later. Tell Roland I said hello. And I'll call him on the phone. Steve, take care. We'll catch you guys later. This is K2VI. We'll be off and clear.
Okay, you take care, Tony. We'll talk, hey? Okay, bud?
Yeah, get on 3636. Talk to Eddie in the group.
Okay, well, yeah, if I get a chance. Okay, no problem.
Right.
But,
hey, that was kind of fun.
I don't know, you talking about around
got some,
6 or 6:30 or something? I'm not sure. I was there a week or 2 weeks ago. I was talking to him and Tony for a bit.
Mute this. And I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go up check the dog. He's being an awfully good boy. I hope he's not eating anything. We'll catch you guys later. I gotta get the right mouse. I'm on the wrong mouse again. Too many mice crawling around.